Hello everyone, welcome to Toyeen Talks. Enjoy. Until I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you all. Bye.
That is the end. Forgiveness is not the end of trauma. Hello? Forgiveness is never, because I've heard people say, when you forgive, it's for the peace of your own mind. No. Forgiveness does not mean she has forgotten. Forgiveness does not mean she should still relate with them. Forgiveness, and I want to believe she are leaving Nigeria to relocate out of Nigeria is part of her healing process to put her pains behind. But now this man died and she has to remember everything again and again. And this took her back. And I'm very sure she might even be having nightmares now. She will be dreaming, having bad dreams now, remembering those years. They will be coming back. If a 60-year-old woman can be wailing like that, crying so much. Look at how a very intelligent brain has been allowed to just to waste away because of childhood trauma. That is how childhood trauma messes up people. There is somebody that I know, the girl is late now. The young lady is late now. Her case was the case of a childhood trauma too. Her mother was a very useless woman who decided and chose a man above a child. You know, I kept saying it that why didn't Olunloyo's mother leave when everything was going on? Somebody said in those days it is not easy to live with women, to live with your children, which is true. Which is true. In those days, it's not easy. People don't leave their husbands anyhow. The few ones that leave, they are shamed. In fact, they live a secluded life in those days, unlike now, where anybody does not give a damn. You call anybody single mother, problem with Tinye. As long as she's doing very well as a mother, that's what I care about. I don't care whether you are married or you are single. I care more about how you are taking care of the children you have, either one or two or three. Are you dedicated to those children? Are you committed to those children? Are you showing them what they need? Are you sure you are not abusing them? Because we have some single mothers abusing children too. The mother saw everything going on, but she stayed in that marriage, all in the name of, I want to be married. Even in those days that we think people don't leave, some people leave. Our own mother left. And I'm glad. There is something I always tell my mother today. I said, Alaja Mudupepe, e kuro lodo baba mi. She left. Some things that did not happen, I was the one that was telling her that happened in her absence and the absence of the other wives. This is why I got to know what polygamy, how bad polygamy can be. Not all polygamy, but most polygamy. Most polygamy. I experienced what it is when a certain wife wants to say, it's my own children that should be better than the other children. After my children, the other one should be begging from my other children. I saw it play out. But table turn around again. Table turn around today. In the process, many were destroyed. Many destiny truncated. But I'm not sure anybody still wants to do that in this era of enlightenment. You don't need it. If you find yourself as a second wife, first wife, third wife, just concentrate on your children and be careful, that's all. But in those days, they will allow the children mingle anyhow. This first wife will do anyhow with the other children. And in the process, I know many polygamous homes that I can cite many examples that we all grieve together. There is a particular family, I feel for them till today, despite the money their father has. Where's the money again? The man was rich. When you are talking of riches of those days, you are talking about men that are very rich that will go to that when they are coming down from the car, driver one wájú àwọn wà lẹ́yìn wọ́n máa fẹ́ ní pẹ̀lú agbádá. Those are people that import things into Nigeria. Now, so that family was really ruined, all in the name of polygamy. It was that particular family, when one of their wives called me that she come and help her. My mother said, go and help her to pack some things. Ibẹ̀ ni mo ti rí nǹkan tó ń pè ní òyà. What is òyà? It was a comb, local comb. I don't know if you know what they call local comb. Ìlàrí. Do you know ìlàrí? For those that know ìlàrí, that's the local comb. It has like 3 or 4 mouths. It is made with wood. They use it, it's like a cotton comb, local cotton comb. That woman wrapped some things, this black and white, black and red juju something, wrap it around the comb while I was helping her to pack her stuff. Help her. And on that comb, she wrote the name of the husband's second wife and the husband's name. And they wrote some things on it. And I was now wondering, but me sorrow. I packed everything. I helped her to do whatever I need to do. But I saw that thing koro with my eyes like this. It was later I now mentioned it to my mother. I said, Alaja she won mo ri nǹkan kan báyìí lọ́dọ̀ mommy Lagbara. She said, when? I now told her. She said, Abajo. That Abajo, she said, I was matured enough to know her Abajo. I did not say anything. But I was experienced enough to know the reason for that Abajo. Because that second wife. Téèyàn kan bá ní kò sí kíní, ẹjọ́ ẹ tú sọnù. Àwọn pastor yín náà lágbára. Àwọn agbára ìkà kan wà níbi tó wà. All that woman, all her children. Mi ò ríru Ọlọ́run rí o. Their lives are totally messed up. The first wife, no matter what they do, they get it back too. And so calamity. Our children were rising seriously at a point. By the time Nemesis came crashing on her too. Now so different kind of thing begin happen to her. That the woman's that second wife's children, one of them had the opportunity to travel out and now so then lock that one. That one no remember in mama till today as I dey talk. Olorogun. I'm not saying it's bad though. Maybe the one of this generation hopefully is different. But in those days, especially in the days of these people that we are talking of, and those men too, those papa of those days, I don't know of any other tribe. I will talk of Yoruba tribe. The papa of those days, waiting then they take their eyes, go put inside. If you are doubting Kemi, maybe you are a child of today's generation. You don't understand. You are a Gen Z. If you are doubting Kemi, maybe you are just 30-something year old. If you are doubting Kemi, maybe you were lucky. Your father and your mother alone. No distraction. If you are doubting Kemi, maybe your father was contented with his civil service, $10,000, 10,000 naira salary. He was not looking for what is lost. If you are doubting Kemi, maybe you have not seen some things. That some of us saw some things. When Taba lọ tajà, ilé kan wà tó ń pè ní ilé white. White. Not that one, no. Another white. They call the man Baba White. His house is white. From everything in his house is white. His clothes now white. His car now white. Interior of his car is always white. If you are doubting Kemi, the interior of that man's house is white. His shoe, white. Walking stick, white. All his wives, they must wear white. Now, white. White, ini. So, polygamy are lucky. Very few. Or majority of polygamy, if they allow people to come and tell their stories. Why is it that after everything, if polygamy is sweet, Why is it that everything dey scatter finally after the papa go? Even before the man will go, everything don scatter. The man white. Everything white. I don't want to mention it. Sonny sang of the person's praise. Obe sang for him. Tani Moturi, Kollington sang for the man. I won't mention the man's name, but they call him white in Surulere, somewhere in around Adelabu side. Tẹ́ bá gbé ẹni tó bá mọ Adelabu máa mẹni tí mò ń sọ yìí. White náà ń pè. Despite everything, when they feel after, if it truly sweet, why everything they scatter when they go? One person is either chasing the other, and the man in the house self, if care is not taken, I ain't go use the rest. Take them do power. I don't know as them do amo. People should allow Kemi. Kemi is on her way to healing. She might not get ill totally. She is going to take some of the trauma to her grave. She will. Instead of castigating her, you better learn from her. Some of you are even married to only your husband. Your children are going through trauma right under your nose. Yes. Oluwatoyin èmi ò dárúkọ o. Ẹ jẹ́ mú mi. She said they had a peaceful family before their father started going up and down and looking for what is not lost. And probably the women that wants to be in the papa's life too. Maisa ó gbọ́dọ̀ fẹ́ wá ní. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ arógun wàhálà. And unfortunately, they are the one that got traumatized, especially her. Maybe the rest are traumatized too, but they just decide, kí làwọn fẹ́ ṣe? Of course, not everybody will come and carry a story and be saying outside. It doesn't mean they don't have their own share of what happened in that family. Oluwatoyin olórúkọ mi, na you talk o. No be me talk o. Some of you, your children, you are the only husband, the only wife. Your children are being traumatized. They are being abused right under your nose. And because most parents are always too busy, you don't ask your children questions. You are not even friends with your children. You don't even allow them. You don't embrace them. Childhood trauma is real, please. And it comes in a lot of forms. It comes in a lot of forms. I just mentioned one now. There was a time, a 10-year-old boy was locked up in a shop. That is where the boy lives. A 10-year-old was locked up in a shop for a long time. That was where the boy became very skinny. That is a trauma that boy will live with all his life. There are so many abuses, child abuses, going on in Nigeria. That's our place. There's a lot of children, people growing up with trauma. And trust me, it's not about whether it's polygamous alone. Single parents, they do them to their parents, their children. There was a case of a couple. That's another trauma on those children that they took to Berekete. They took that child to Berekete. Those children to Berekete. Their parents locked them up. No, it was one out of those children. It was one out of all their children they lock up. I don't know if you remember that story. They locked the boy up, that the boy must fast. They did not allow the boy to go to school. The boy had exam. They did not allow the boy to go until somebody reported them and they came to rescue the boy. And they were asking them, how come among all your children, why is it that is this boy that you lock up? Why is it that it is this child that you lock up? They say they want that child to fast. That is a trauma. That trauma is coming from both father and mother. If tomorrow that boy does not know how to love a child, you see, this trauma comes in two ways. Some, after going through trauma, they become better parents. But trust me, no matter how better parents they are, they eventually kind of still abuse their own children too, except they make conscious efforts and they are very intentional. Hardly do you see anyone going through trauma that unconsciously they will not traumatize others, except they have been healed and either they have sought help, they have been healed, or they are intentional about the way they relate with people. Go and look at people who stay with abusers, who are married to abusers. You see, somebody said, I have a friend, her mom wanted her to be a boy and she suffered mercilessly in her mom's hand. Her mom was so resentful of her. You see? Oh, somebody said, I couldn't show my baby love for 6 months of her life till I went to therapy. Oh my God. Except you make that, if you have gone through trauma and you are watching this video, because I know some people, this thing will be straight to their story. It may not be similar, it may not be the same thing, but trauma is trauma, and no trauma should be downplayed. I was telling somebody, I said, our generation is still strong. Our children, are they that strong? Can they cope? Have you at a point traumatized your children too? Because you have been traumatized. We take it to be, we are training. Are we really training? Are we really training these children, or we are abusing them, thinking it is the way we have been brought up? Go and get help. Go for therapy if it is available. Talk to somebody if you need to. And if you have children, please, so you don't have a repeat, because that is what is happening to most of us unconsciously. I have shared my story with you. How, because of what I was going through in my early journey as a widow, I didn't know I was kind of, I thought I was training. I thought I was unconsciously abusing my daughter then. I'm not ashamed to do this, to say this. But good enough, she is a very strong-willed child, and I'm glad she is. She's a wonderful girl. If I come to this world again, that is the daughter I want. Then she looked at me one day and she said, Mommy, please stop doing this to me. One thing I find out is that anytime I beat her, I end up crying. Because I feel I am not supposed to beat her that way. It was later I realized I was transferring my pains onto her. Why? I didn't get somebody to stand with me to heal. I didn't heal up. I was training them in that pain. I was taking care of them in that pain. And unconsciously, I was saying some words that I was not supposed to say to them. She was the one that called me to order. She said, Mommy, please stop. Then one day, I had to call all of them to sit them down. And this is what most parents don't want to do. And I'm glad they were young when I had to do the correction. I sat all of them down And I asked them, what is it I have done to you that you are not happy with? Everyone told me, Mommy, of course, some were funny. They said, Mommy, you did this. Mommy, you did that. But our own touched me to the bone marrow. And I truly know that actually I made a mistake. You know why? She's the most strong will of my children. She's always everywhere. That is her own nature. But I was not seeing it that way then. I thought she was stressing me. This almost affected her. And when we talk, she told me everything. I sat with her, with them, we spoke. Then later I called her privately. I held her hands. I apologized to them. I apologized to her. We both cried together. And we started walking the walk together. And today, we are the best of friends. And I'm so glad because I keep imagining, what if I did not reason along with this girl? What if I feel I am right as a parent? These are the reasons why many young girls, they start following men and doing crazy stuff because they are seeking and looking for love. These are the reasons why young boys will start smoking what they are not supposed to smoke. These are the reasons why young boys will go and get involved with who they are not supposed to get involved with. And they miss it from there. And you start struggling with them, their education, the way they will talk to you. At a point, you will lose that respect as a parent if you are not careful. I have had to counsel somebody, and I'm glad we were able to walk through it and we got the desired results. She had this daughter that was becoming unruly and, was becoming, insultive. And she told me, this is happening, this is happening. I said, what happened? She said, nothing, no. Mi ò mọ nǹkan tí mo ṣe fún. I said, don't bring that Yoruba mother something into this. I don't want that Nigerian parent emotions and say, mi ò mọ nǹkan tí mo ṣe fún. I say, no, don't bring that. You did something. She said, mi ò ṣe nǹkan kan. Èmi mo jìyà lórí wọn. I say, jìyà lórí ọmọ is different from mo fìfẹ́ ọmọ. Don't get it twisted. This is the mistake our parents made that we want to repeat in our children's life. I said, no. Children of today are different. She now said, at a point, I don't want to put details out there. At a point, and this, I said, now you are talking. Now can we talk? She started crying. I said, cry if you have to cry. She said, I've lost her. I said, no, you have not lost her. She's your daughter. You gave birth to her. She's going nowhere. That girl is going to show you love. She's going to love you. She's going to pamper you. She's going to take care of you just as you have taken care of her. Now, cry if you have to cry. Are you done crying? She said, yes. Okay, can we talk? I started asking her question from the birth of the girl. When she gave birth to the girl, who the girl was living with, when the girl was living, what was happening, blah, 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 blah. Apparently, the girl was abused. She never knew. So I said, okay, at this point, you are going to do the job. That girl has no love to give to you until you show that love. Until you show you are remorseful. He said, Shema, Benny. I said, yes, Emma Bear. You want your daughter back? She said, yes, now. I said, okay, Emma Bear. He said, ha. I said, you are a typical Nigerian man who my mother. So you can't beg your daughter. I said, call her. Find a time. Go out together. Kẹjọ jáde lọ. Have mother and daughter talk. Ask her some questions. At the end of the day, that was when the girl opened up to her. She couldn't believe what her daughter went through. that was when she actually knew she as a mother messed up. But I'm glad today they are best of friends too. Even though that girl is an adult, not like when my own happened. My daughter was still very young. My children were still kind of young when we had the discussion. And, sometimes you need to call your children, especially if you notice that probably one of them is beginning to have some kind of funny attitude suddenly. It's coming from somewhere, either from outside or from inside. So it is better you nip it in the bud on time. Kutodi komi. You wouldn't want your daughter that is in school to go or to say she wants to leave the house when she's not supposed to. Right? You don't want that. You don't want that your son that is in school to suddenly say, I don't want to go to school again. Right? You don't want that your son that was doing very well, suddenly dropping out of school. Or saying, I don't want to go to school again. Or lying to you that he's going to school when he's not going to school. Or started sniffing some things. You don't want that, right? I'm sure no parents want that. So there are times you need to, once you start noticing that their attitude is changing, especially they are kind of becoming rebellious. Children that are traumatized, that are abused, there is nothing you can do. They will become rebellious and they will hurt you back. At a point, they want to give what you are giving to them. Okay, I should see somebody's comment. Okay. They want to hurt you back. That is when you see a child, they don't give a hoot anymore. I have seen cases like that where a child, because of what was coming out of the mother's mouth, the boy said he's not going to school. The mother can go to hell if she wants to. She said she doesn't want to. The child said, I'm not going to school again. Do your worst. Okay, Queen Esther said, I attended my mom's funeral. I didn't shed the tears. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's the comment I'm trying to read now. Okay, let me pin it. Okay. As a single mother, especially, there is a lot demanded of you. And if you are not careful, what you are fighting for, you end up messing it up. My own case is more understandable. Now, let's go to the cases of children, which is the case of Kemi, whose father is alive. Mine, their father is no more. So that makes it easy for me to explain to them and say, I'm sorry. It's because of what I was going through. And they said they understood. And now today, let me show you something. We have a lot to do so that we will not have the kind of Kemi tomorrow. Oh, sorry. We will not have the kind of Kemi as a parent. And that child will say, I don't want to have anything to do with you. May that not be our portion. Let me show you something. This is why I tell people, when you have to divorce with your husband, if you can do it in a way where it will not be bitter, where their father can still relate with them and show him the little love he can, please do so. Rather, except the man is a danger to them. These are one of the things they give me. I have them many. Having a son is really the only gift you need. They give me such keepsake. They call them keepsake. They were able to understand because they know that I actually tried my best. They know the pressure and everything, and they appreciate everything, because it's much easier on me because their dad was late. It's more difficult on a child when father and mother is alive and both of them are messing up. You see this Gen Z generation, don't bring them up the way they brought you up. Oh. They won't understand. You know why? It's the era of social media where what they should expect is out there for them. Now, this is another one they gave me. Here they wrote, they actually made this. World's Best Mother. Awarded to, they wrote my name and they wrote their name. Thank you for your love, hugs and kisses, you know. So it's one of my decoration. Let me even put it here. So I'll be seeing it very easily. So, you know, there are some people, just like Queen Esther said, she said she was at her mother's burial, but she never shed a tear because she doesn't feel anything. No connection. It's not as in, there are so many people like that. They have a mother, but that connection is not there. That connection is not there. Some parents do not know that you can say, I am sorry. Your child, if you have done some things wrong, some of us deserve I am sorry from our parents. I just got I'm sorry from my own mother. I told her, Alaja ìṣe mi, and you say, má bínú ọkọ mi, ó dá má bínú. Ayé ìgbà kan náà máa sọ pé ìyá ò gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀ ọmọ, ṣùgbọ́n a rí pé èèyàn ọmọ ọ̀sẹ̀ a gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀ yín. She humbled herself and she said, má bínú. Because we had an issue for some time. That issue almost affected me and the way I was taking care of my children too. This is why I said, this is why I said trauma can be transferable if you are not careful. Trauma from your parents, you carry it, transfer it to your children will transfer it to their own children. That is, in this generation, if your children do not decide to be a Bobrisky, that is another angle, another truth that we are shying and running away from. Many parents today, they are now dealing with a lot of Bobrisky, codedly. They are now dealing with a lot of Bobrisky in their closet. I think you saw one of our politician that is son. In fact, there is another guy, an actor. I don't want to mention name. There is another actor that the son has become a woman. And you see the guy when he's working, call anybody, another Bobrisky. That is the effect of what is going on now. The reality, the truth of what is going on now, that a lot of parents are covering up. A lot of parents are not, in fact, nobody will be proud of that. But if you find, somebody said transgender has nothing to do with abuse. It's got a lot to do with it. Some people, out of trauma and everything, they become that. I know some, their kinoman, show money, or whatever, can make them that. But there are some that are going that route because of it. Please go and make your research on it. Go and make your research on it. I have spoken with somebody that the child decided to go that route and said she will never marry. I said, why? Because of what she went through. She said she doesn't want to have anything to do with a man. And today, he's a Nigerian girl, Nigerian parentage, father and mother. Today, she's married to a woman. There are many of them happening now. Many people who go through trauma and abuse, it all depends on how deep it affects them and the angle they want to take it to. Some go to that route too. Take it or leave it. Some choose that route. I have seen it played out. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. You know, we don't know what trauma is. We don't know. We just take trauma like a pinch of salt. We take it like it means nothing. Sure, we don't go through any. Especially my people, Yoruba. Magben. Sure, we don't go through any. Is it only her? That is how we downplay pains. Especially pains we are not working in. Especially pains we are not working in. Trauma can lead to anything. It's only our part of the world. We just take it as one of those things. Ìwọ nìkan kọ́ ló máa kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí now. Ṣé ìwọ ló máa kọ́kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ni? And we think trauma is only for the poor. Now we know. I'm going to leave the live chat on once we finish so people can get to read. Ìwọ ló máa kọ́kọ́ go through any. A lot of people have gone through it now. We just downplay people's pain just like that. Meanwhile, these are still people we relate with. Our children are still going to relate with. For this, I'm even very careful when my children are going to go and choose partner. I'm so very careful. Ojúlala kan fi ń ṣọ́rí. Just trivialize it and make it like, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́nìkan rí. Wetin happen to you wey never happen to Benz before. We never see this one. Na lie. It don't happen before. Na abeg make you go. And it is not about whether somebody is poor. This is a rich person, connected. See how they made her life end because she went through trauma. Very intelligent. Very eloquent. Very intelligent, very eloquent. And we want to life again, lady in your hand. See how they allow her life to end. See where she is today. A child of a former governor. What went wrong? How did they allow her get to that stage? Is she lying? Is she saying the truth? Of course, there are truth in what she said. Mama is singing Baba's praises. There is a good father. Maybe to our own children. But can the first wife say the same thing about Baba? The same first wife that was so damaged that she allowed two of her children to be fighting each other. Irú ìyá wo ló ń ṣe irú ẹ̀? Hello? Irú ìyá wo ló máa dúró kí ẹ̀gbọ́n àtàbúrò tán ti dàgbà kán máa lura wọn kó wá joyè referee tí ò bá ń ṣe pé ìyàwó náà ti ní nǹkan kan lọ́pọlọ. Wọ́n ti gba ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ ọpọlọ tiẹ̀ náà ti rí bákan. Sorry, kan má bínú o, a gbọ́dọ̀ bú àgbàlagbà. Tán wá dúró. Tán bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń lura wọn. And the mother stood there looking at them. Kán lura wọn dáadáa. That shows, it says a lot. It says a lot that things